Hi everybody, it's Nikki here, and say with me, it's Bookgammon time. Yes, it is that time of the month where I play my TBR game Bookgammon, which is based off the board game Backgammon that helps me pick my TBR for the upcoming month. Today we are going to be playing for August, so let me put her down because you know she gets noisy. So on to some housekeeping first. My priority picks. I'm going to be upfront and honest with you, I didn't get to any of last month's TBR picks. Well, Bookgammon picks. I had Athelstan, I had Jack the Ripper, and I had The Fire Chronicles by John Stevens. I didn't get to any of these, and that's because I had a very slow reading month. I was doing a reading vlog, and sadly, that took me longer than I expected it to, so I didn't get to any of these. Now, I am not going to use any of these as priority picks for this month because I am taking part in the Magical Readathon. So unless the prompt specifically asks for one of these books, I am not going to priority pick these unless it's the only book that fits that prompt. So yeah, I think I'm giving myself a clean slate because we've got the Magical Readathon to do. So I will be going through my career choice for that at the end of the video, along with the classes and their prompts and books that I will be reading for that. As for the bomb book and the star book, as you can tell, I don't have them because we're not going to play them this month. Again, because I have the Magical Readathon, it throws my Bookgammon completely off because Magical Readathon takes a lot of my time to do, so I kind of struggle to figure out a way to bring Bookgammon into that. So what I've done this month is I've actually made up some prompt cards which have each of the classes on for Magical Readathon, and I will be pulling one of these cards every time I land on a space, and then I will pick a book for the first prompt, the O prompt. If I manage to finish that book, then I can pick a book for the second prompt or the third prompt, depending on how well I get through that, depending on how well I'm doing. These books for Bookgammon are going to be secondary to my actual classes that I need to take for the career choice that I've made for Magical Readathon. So I'm not holding myself to reading the Bookgammon books this month, simply because I do have the Magical Readathon classes to do first. These are going to be, if I have time, I can pick from whatever prompts we land on today. So saying all that, let's get to gameplay and see if she's naughty or nice for me this month. Okay, so here we have our board. We are not using these prompts today, and we are not using these prompt cards, but we are going to be using these prompt cards. So each of these has the class and then their grades. So what I will do is I will try to read as many books from that class as possible to try and pass that class. So let's give these a shuffle. I can't shuffle them very well because there's only a few of them. So now I don't know which one's which, and we'll put them there. We will just play with the one piece for this month. So let's throw our dice. Remember, any double forces us to go backwards. And first off, we have a 3 and a 4, so that's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Remembering that the colours are not applicable this time. So we have the class Law. So the first prompt to get an O is a bookseller's recommendation. Q is clothing on the cover. And D is a horror book. Now I don't do horrors, so it would have to be like a dark romance or something, or a dark fantasy, something like that maybe. But yeah, that is one of the classes. Luckily, it is not one that I have to take for, well, unluckily, it's not one I have to take for my career choice though. Roll number 2, 3 and a 5, so that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the class I have to take is Art of Illusion. So to get an O, I need to read without touching the floor. That's easy, I sit on my bed. Q is an audiobook, and for grade D, a book with no magic, so a contemporary or a thriller of some sort. So again, this is not one of the classes that I have to take for my career. Our third roll. No. Damn it! So we got a double 6, so we have to move backwards 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we got the class Demonology. So to get an O, I need to read the first book I see on social media. So that's Instagram, Goodreads, Facebook, whatever. Q is a book with magical creature. And D is use a poll for viewers to decide. So there we go. How appropriate that we got the class Demonology when I had to go backwards because I got a double. 3 and a 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inscription. So to get an O, a book from your end of year TBR, so a book that I want to finish before the end of the year. Q is a book with a shield on the cover or in the title. And D is a book that's not a debut. Our fifth roll, can we get home? Ooh, a 7, 5 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. We're right at the end. No, can you see that? We are right at the end there. One more card and it is Conjuration. So O is read a court or royal book. Q is inspired or set in a different country. And D is to read an indie or self-published book. I am going to roll one more time because we are not home. So I will roll, and if we get a double, we will have to move backwards. Nope, we have a 1 and a 2, so we can go home. There we go. That is Bookgammon over for another month. And that was it. That was gameplay. Quite a few rolls there. We did have one double, so we did have to kind of go backwards a bit. It turned out not too bad in the end. By the way, I forgot to mention, I am still reading my Bond book from last month. I'm a little bit further round this time than I was last month, but I'm still struggling my way through it. I'll get it finished one day, guys. I really will. So for our first roll, the O qualification is bookseller's recommendation. Now, I'm going to take this to mean like a book that's in a prominent place in the bookshop. I normally shop in Waterstones if I go into a bookshop in town. Otherwise, I order online and you don't really get recommendations online. So I'm going to go with The Thorns Remain by J.J.A. Harwood. It's a very glossy one, like this. And this was in a prominent place in Waterstones, so it's on the side. And it says, a Fey Lord, a mortal woman, a dance with a terrible price. I'm just going to quickly say things about these books because we've got a lot to get through. For our second roll, we got Art of Illusion, and the first prompt for that, for the O, is read without touching the floor. So I thought for this I would pick something quick and easy, and so I went with a graphic novel. This is The Wicked and the Divine, and this is volume 2, Fandemonium. This is basically, it says, every 90 years 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years they are all dead. It's happening now and it's happening again. So this is volume 2. For our third roll, we got Demonology. This was the one where we had to go backwards. And it says, first book you see on social media. So for that, I actually scrolled through Goodreads, and the first book I saw that I owned, my good friend Bex from my Waterstones book club was currently reading Rainbow Grey Battle for the Skies by Laura Ellen Anderson. This is book 3 in the Rainbow Grey series. This one has beautiful purple edges, and basically it says Rainbow Grey, the greater the storm, the brighter the rainbow. And it's just about a girl called Ray Grey, and she lives in a fantastical world with all the magical elements of the weather. So yeah, this is the 3rd installment, so I can't really go into what this one is particularly about, but weather, magic, basically. For roll number 4, we got Inscription, and the first prompt for that is a book from your end of year TBR. So a book that I want to have read by the end of this year, and I thought, you know what, with all the fantasy that I've been reading recently, I want to read a romance. I'm very much into my romance, and this is a sport romance, so I'm very, very intrigued with it. It's The Deal by Elle Kennedy from the Off Campus series, and this is book 1, and it just says she's about to make a deal with a college bad boy, and it's going to be oh so good. So she's obviously very studious. He is probably he wants to play professional hockey after graduation, but his plummeting GPA is threatening everything he's worked hard for. So she's going to help him. They're going to fall in love. I'm hoping for some smutty time. And last but not least, roll number 5, we got Conjuration, and the first prompt for that is to read a court or royal book. So I recently picked up the trilogy of The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. Pearson, she's got the same name as me. Well, I have the same name as her. She's probably had it longer than me. And it's from the Remnant Chronicles, and basically it says, in a society steeped in tradition, Princess Leah's life follows a preordained course. As first daughter, she's expected to have the revered gift of sight, which she doesn't, and to happily marry a prince she has never met, which she won't. So it says, basically she flees, and 2 men arrive in the place where she's settled down. One is the prince she was meant to marry, and one is an assassin sent to kill her. Very excited for this. I know it's an old one, but I have not read it, so, and it's a floppy, and I can't wait to read this one. So this is my Bookgammon TBR. We have The Thorns Remain, Pandemonium, Rainbow Grey, Battle of the Skies, The Deal, and The Kiss of Deception. Now for the Magical Readathon. I am trying to become a master of elements, or mistress of elements. So the classes I have to take this year are Elemental Studies, Shape-Shifting, Animal Studies, Astronomy, and was it Restoration? Yeah, Restoration. So let's go through my classes for those. So for Elemental Studies, I need a D, which means I have to read 3 books to receive that class. The first book is for the O qualification, which is book with Earth in the title. So I've gone for The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is from the Something Earth trilogy. I'll find it. Broken Earth trilogy. So yeah, so I want to read this one. For my Q qualification, I need to read a book with 500 or more pages, so I couldn't think of anything more appropriate than Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. Now, I'm not doing this on purpose, but I happen to be buddy reading this with my good friend Charlotte. It is time. We are here. I'm not ready for it, guys. But August is the month that we are battling Kingdom of Ash. It's definitely over 500 pages. So I'm going to be reading it anyway, so I might as well bring it in for this prompt. We all know what the Throne of Glass series is about, don't we? Don't we? Don't we? Yeah, we do. And for my final qualification for Elemental Studies to get the D, a book with a snake on the cover. Now, I hope you can see this, but there's a snake sort of running through there. It's very, very slight. But it says, What Hunts Inside the Shadows by Harper L. Woods. This is book 2 of the Flesh and Bone series. The first book was What Lies Beyond the Veil, which I read recently and kind of enjoyed it. So I would like to carry on with book 2. On to my next class is Shape-Shifting, and the prompt for this is read a book with vampires. I don't want to look at this anymore on my shelf, so I'm going to read it. It is The Coldest Touch by Isabel Sterling. I hate the front cover of this. I love the American version, so I want to get this read so I can say yes, I can declutter it and get it off my shelves, or no, I really, really love this, but I hate this cover. So I am going to America next year. So if I fall in love with this story, this might be a book that I look for in America when I go, because we're hoping to take a trip to Barnes & Noble's while I'm over there, and see if I can pick up a copy of the American version if I enjoy this, if I enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it enough to want to keep it and reread it again in the future, then I'll just declutter this version and I won't bother about buying the American version. But if I fall in love with this, if this is a new favourite of mine, I will pick up the American copy when I go over there next year for a holiday. We're going to Disney World in Florida. So yeah, one can sense when a person is going to die when she touches them, and the other one is a vampire, so she's already dead. So, you know, all good. The next class I have to take is Animal Studies, and for this it was a pet pick, and I was able to do it. So here is some footage of Star picking a book for me. So these are the 3 books for Star to pick from. We have Heart of the Raven Prince by Tisonia Odette. We have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And we have Glint by Raven Kennedy. So, let's see which one she picks. Star! Dreamies! Here she comes. Come on then, up you come. Ooh, what we got, what we got? Was that fair? I don't think that was fair. That was... that wasn't really fair. Okay. Let's see if she notices there's any others. She walked right past Fourth Wing. Now she's found it. Okay. That wasn't fair, was it? Let's try that again. Try again. Yeah. Come on then, Baba. What's this? What's this? Which one is she going to go for? Fourth Wing. Okay. I think that was much fairer, don't you? That was fairer. She could have gone left or right, or the centre. Get him. Oh, she's looking for more Dreamies, love. This is. Hey. No, she's looking for more Dreamies.
Alright, 4.81.
Thank you. So as you can see from that footage, I kind of did it twice because I felt like the first time she just picked the first one she came to. As she jumped up onto the bed and as she jumped up on that right hand side, she just went to that first book on the side. So I didn't think it was really fair. So we did it again, and this time she went straight down the middle for Fourth Wing. She could have gone either way. She could have gone either way. So I'm reading Fourth Wing. We all know what this is about. It's really blown up in the book world at the moment. Everybody and his dog is reading this. I don't think dogs are reading this, but everybody's reading this, so it got the better of me. FOMO got the better of me, so I guess we've got Dragons. Brutal games, grumpy dragons, sizzling sexual tension. Lovely. For my next class is astronomy, and I had to pick a book with a word from the last song I listened to in the title of the book. Now, if you're not aware, the lovely, wonderful, amazing Sinead O'Connor passed away recently. So like everybody else, I've been listening to her beautiful song, Nothing Compared to You. I love that tune so much. So for that, I picked 1,000 Pieces of You. Nothing Compared to You, by Claudia Gray. I picked this up after I read her, what series was it I was reading of hers recently? The Evernight series. I read that years ago, back in 2019 I think, and absolutely fell in love with that series. So I picked this up, and I've not actually got a chance to reading it yet, so maybe August is the month, hopefully. So this just says 1,000 lives, 1,000 possibilities, one fate. Marguerite Kane grew up surrounded by cutting-edge scientific theories thanks to her brilliant physicist parents, yet nothing is more astounding than her mother's latest invention, a device called the Firebird, which allows people to leap into alternate dimensions. So we may have other worlds that she goes into. Last but not least, my final class I have to take is restoration. I need 2 prompts for this one. My first prompt for the O level is start a book before bed. Where's my phone? I'm basically just going to pick an ebook on my Kindle. The one I'm going to pick is The Power of Hades. I've re-downloaded it onto my Kindle because I did read this well over a year ago, a couple of years ago I think by now. And I've had books 2 and 3 still on my Kindle ever since, but I can't remember the first book. So I'm going to reread it again. So that is The Power of Hades, and I'll put the author on the screen. So I'm going to read that for start a book before bed. And then for my Q qualification, to read in a different spot, I will then pick the second book in that series and just read it somewhere else, in like my reading chair or here or downstairs, but I won't be able to read it in the bed because I'll have started a book in bed, so I won't be able to, I have to read it in a different spot, you see. So I thought for those 2 prompts, to read a book before bed and to read in a different spot, because they weren't specifically choosing a book for me, that I would just pick an ebook and fulfill the prompt in that way. So that is my Magical Readathon TBR as well. These 6 physical books to read and 2 ebooks to read for the Magical Readathon. I have the 5th season, Kingdom of Ash, What Hunts Inside the Shadows, The Coldest Touch, 4th Wing, and 1,000 Pieces of You. So wish me luck, because I've got 6 physical books and 2 ebooks for Magical Readathon, and then 5 physical books for Bookgammon to read if I can fit them in. And going by what I read in July, it'll be hard pressed for me to finish my Magical Readathon TBR if I carry on the way I am at the moment. I'm really worried about it, guys. Pray for me. Like, help me. Encourage me. Come on, guys. Help me, help me. Tell me I'm going to enjoy all of these books and I'm going to fly through them. Send me those prayers, because I'm going to need it. So that is it. I am going to go. I'm roasting, and that's why the fan's on. But, you know, you can still hear me over the fan, can't you? Sure. Nobody's ever told me I'm too quiet. So I am going to go before I carry on waffling. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.